Hi, my name is Meg and welcome back to my channel. Today is very exciting because I have a new ink and a new pen, and they somehow, hopefully, will match. I'm very excited to go to the St. Louis Pen Show this month, and I was able to get my hands on the Pen Show ink ahead of the show. So this is the Meet Me in St. Louis line from KWZ, and this is the Mobot ink. And you can kind of tell from the color on top here, it is a pink ink, and it is a little bit of a different pink from anything else I've got. This is my first KWZ ink. I did not get an ink from last year's pen show. That was a blue, so this year is a dark pink, almost magenta color. So we're going to swatch this, and I'm also going to ink up a pen that I think is going to be a lovely match for this. Go to the back of my ink swatching journal. And this is the first time opening this ink. I've got my tools here. This is a speedball nib and this is a folded brass nib. And then I will, of course, write out the details with the pen. But I'll save the pen for in a minute. Let's open this up. This is a 60 milliliter bottle. So there's plenty of ink here. Yeah, it comes out pretty purple, but it dries a little bit more pink. Go like this. Ooh, that's not a good line. That's a better line. I'm doing a bad job with that. So this is supposed to be representative of a purple iris, but there are lots of other, or pink iris, pinky mauve iris, and it is representative of multiple things around St. Louis. I'll put a couple of the inspirational pictures from the pen show on the screen now. I think that it's really unique to my ink collection. I do have a few pink inks, but I don't have anything that's quite like this. And like I said, I bought a pen, and I did not remember that this was the ink color, and I did not realize that I would be getting this ink right now. So I bought this pen with the intention of picking up a ink at the pen show that would work well with it. So it's just kind of funny that this all worked out ahead of time. But this is a Hongdian M2 in lilac, and look at that color match. That's pretty perfect. So we're gonna ink this up. This is a nice little pocket pen. It's aluminum and very affordable. I got it through Amazon. And actually for a pocket pen, it has quite a good ink reservoir in the converter here. So I'm just gonna plunge this down. We're gonna do it a couple of times to really make sure that it gets everything. There we go, now it's full. All right, put that there. We're gonna wipe it off. Put the back on. And we'll cap this so that I don't end up accidentally making a mess. So like I said, this is the first time that I've got a KWZ ink before. I like writing this posted. It's just a little bit bigger. Okay. And there we are. Like I said, I think this is a pretty great pairing. And you can see that it's drying down a little bit faster in the writing and how it gets a little bit lighter, but that big swatch is going to take a little while, and it's very much dark on the page. I will check back in a couple of minutes whenever this all dries so that you can see the final look. All right, so this is dry now, and because I like you guys, I also swatched it on a white dot grid paper because I recognize that this is a little bit of a creamier color, so that's probably lending just a little bit of warmth to the ink. So on a pure white paper, this is what it looks like. And like I said, I don't think that I have another ink quite like this in my collection, and I really like how it looks. On this in particular, you can see the variation in the darkness of the ink, which I really enjoy with fountain pen inks. You can kind of see it here too, the dark against the light. That is just based off of the ink coming down out of the pen or off of the nib, and it can be controlled, but I'm not good enough to control it, so this is just naturally what it looks like. But again, I think that this is a fantastic match for this color. And because we're in my ink journal, we can go ahead and compare this to the other handful of pink and purple inks that I've got. So what I'll do is I'll kind of flip back here and go through until I get to my pinks, which is just after the browns. This is Sailor Shikiori Hana Kanmari, which is more of a brown pink, definitely not the same color. Like I said, I kind of go for a little bit more of a warm pink. So this is Jacques Urbain Rouleau d'Encre. And again, almost salmon orange compared to that. I have Diamine's Hope Pink, which is bright, hot pink. And then we're starting to get into a little bit more of the reds. This is the Rose in the Louvre by Noodlers. Definitely a different color. And yeah, the reds, Diamine Syrah, we're getting pretty far out there. So we'll go to the purples. Wearingul's Persephone. I think that the shimmer on this is actually quite similar to the Mobot, but the base color is definitely a purple. That's a cool toned purple. Damson's too dark. I've got Imperial Purple, which is too truly purple. Let's keep going here. Those are the Lord of the Rings inks, Shimmering Seas. And then I've got this Sailor Shikiori Harahara, which is definitely more muted purple than this, which is, like I said, a kind of a magenta color. But I love this. I am so happy that I have a whole bottle and that I got it ahead of the pen show, which is so exciting. I can't wait to go to the pen show. I'm going to be there on Friday and Saturday, and I'll be walking around. So I'm really excited to see all the vendors that are going to be there, maybe pick up a couple of pens, a couple of inks, and definitely chat up some people in the pen community. I hope that you, if you're in the area, come to the St. Louis Pen Show, and if you're not in the St. Louis area, that you consider going to a pen show local to you. Because they are a great place to find community, find resources, find pens and inks and stationery and ephemera that you can get from local small businesses or from regional makers, even some that are not very regional, so that you can get your hands on some stuff without having to pay shipping from across the country. So I hope that you had a good time, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.